God, I was drinking a beer when you said that. I had a situation where this wrestler, you may know of him. He's a big, fat, neck, blonde, and they call themselves the Nasty Boys, and they used to do this cartoon hardcore wrestling in WCW. Mm-hmm. And he comes in the locker room and he's giving this speech, and he's telling the boys, you know, all of this stuff about, you know, it brings a tear to his eye to see people out there trying this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden he starts shitting on the boys. Now these are younger guys, you know, in the business, so of course they're gonna respect him and not say nothing back to him about nothing. Well, my girl had just texted me, and I looked at my text, and whatever it was she had said to me, I started laughing. And Brian Knobs looked at me and said, "Fuck you laughing at, New Jack. You can't wrestle. You ain't never wrestled a day in your life." Mm. And that's the last thing he remembered. And when his big ass got up off the floor, I was still on him. So the guy, I didn't know that him and Bubba the Love Sponge was butt buddies. Mm-hmm. And people kept calling me or sending me messages talking about, New Jack, don't trust Bubba because he'll try to embarrass you on the radio, and that's how he is. They say he's a big bitch, and he keeps his nose in Hogan's ass because they supposed to be butt buddies. And Brian Knobs, you know, they do a menage a trois. So I said, well, I can't get caught up like that. And see, when you on the phone, you can be a Superman, like that guy last night, like that little piece of shit that was on that radio station last night, or that internet/garbage can show that he got, that Kevin Kleinrock asked me to do, and I'm still a big Kevin for that shit. He got nerve where, you know, they would go on the radio, and I've been told that he would make you look bad on the radio. So I was like, fuck that. I'm going to the studio. So I drove to the studio. I said, now, he might talk shit to me. I said, he might talk shit to me on the phone, but if he go out of his way and start running his mouth for real, then I'm going to catch a case in Tampa. So as he was talking to me, he said, so what about this guy? Well, he did try me at the beginning because I was laying over on the couch and they had lights down. So I said, he said, turn the lights up. I said, why y'all got to turn the lights up? I said, because you can't see me? And I started laughing. So then I said, well, maybe if I smile. Well, you know, I was trying to make fun of it. You know what I mean? You know, hey, guys, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Let's all be cool with each other. And he said something, bitch, something. And I said, you calling me a bitch? And then he's like, oh, no, that was just my sense of humor. And he said, well, stand up, let me take a look at you, and whatever. So he said, so we started talking, and I was like, you know, in my mind, I was like, you know, I ain't gonna let this motherfucker get me on the radio and embarrass me like he's been known to do. So, like I said, I drove down there, and then as we was talking, he called Brian Knobs, and Brian Knobs didn't answer the phone, and he said, Brian, buddy, I'm trying to reach you. Can you answer the phone? I want to hear your side of the story. Can you answer the phone? And he called him again. He went answer the phone, called again, went answer the phone. So I was like, okay, fuck it. So he was like, well, Jack, are y'all cool now? I said, hey, no, we ain't cool. I said, I don't know Brian Knowles. I said, I met Brian Knowles at a couple of signings, and I passed him one time in the airport. I said, I don't know that big country cracker. I said, that motherfucker can't wrestle a lick. I said, what did he do, an armpit? That was his finish? You put your face in his armpit? I said, now his partner could wrestle, but he couldn't wrestle for shit. So I'm like, and you know, and like I said, and people were scared to say something about him or say something back to him because, you know, like I said, he was Hogan's boy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Well, see, I ain't never gave a shit about none of them. I mean, you know, my whole career has been almost, it's been like, I'll book New Jack because I like him. And somebody else might say, I wouldn't book that crazy motherfucker for under no circumstances. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I was just like, fuck him. So, you know, I did what I did, and I said what I had to say. You know, well, Bubba got real humble when he said, so what about the guy you stabbed that time in Jacksonville? You stabbed him 12 times. I said it wasn't 12, it was 16. I said, so, and when he said it, it just so happened I had on a pair of sweatpants, and I had this knife, this pop blade knife, switchblade knife in my pocket, and it had about a 2-inch wide, 8-inch blade on it. And I popped it out, and I said, I took something like this and just started stabbing. And Bubba slid back in his seat. He was like, oh, shit. And I was like, oh, bro. I said, I don't leave home without this. I said, this is like American Express. And he got as humble as any bitch you know on the planet. He got humble as fuck. He couldn't say nothing. He was like, this nigga got a knife that can cut my fucking head off. And I was playing with him and said bitch at the beginning of this, you know what I mean? So then after he saw that, then his whole attitude changed. He was like, woohoo! He said, ladies and gentlemen, right now we're talking to former ECW Extreme Professional Wrestler, New Jack. And then I keep talking, so he kept throwing that little pitch in there, you know what I mean? So which I thought was funny. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they never got in touch with Brian Knowles. He never called in, whatever. So when the interview was over with, I was, man, I had a great time. Thanks for having me on the show. I enjoyed it. Call me sometime. Here's my number. And of course I started laughing. So then I walked out. And the dude came out there. He said, New Jack. He said, between me and you, he said, you scared the shit out of Bubba. You pulled out that big-ass knife. And Bubba asked me, he said, Jack, he said, so if you had to wrestle me, would you let me pin you? I said, no. I said, you ain't no fucking wrestler. You a DJ. And he said, no, I've wrestled before. I've been around the business since 90. He said, I don't even around the business. I said, since 92. He said, well, I've been around the business since 1990. I said, well, good for you. I said, but you're still not a wrestler. You're a DJ.
I've never heard of him in a wrestling ring.
You know what? And I didn't find out till later. Somebody told me they had booked him for me to do a run-in on him one time, and I remember this down in St. Pete. Mm-hmm. And when he found out it was me doing the run-in, all of a sudden he called back and said he had something wrong with his car, and he didn't show up. But this was like many years ago. I did the same thing. And I mean, he's a big old fat white dude, you know, and you know, he used to work with Howard Stern, you know, and this, that, and the other. I mean, you know, and like I said, you know, he plays the game, but I wasn't about to put up with that shit. You know what I mean? I wasn't about to let Bubba make me look like no damn fool. I was just like, hey, bro, it is what it is. I said, you know, we can keep this professional. You know, you can come from behind that table and we can nuzzle up. But he was like, no, I'm straight. I'm good. I'm talking about it. Like, in his interview, get this nigga out of here and go to Waffle House. It's on us.